What's up guys, welcome to another little tutorial here. We are going to be looking at some pixel art today. We're going to be making a character walk cycle. If we go over to our software view, we'll get a little preview of what we're going to be creating here. Something fairly close to what you would get in an old Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy game, an RPG, something like that. We're going for this 3/4 style 4-frame walk animation. Now this could be used for 2D platformers. Could also be used for the left and right walks of a top-down RPG. Just a little bit of adjustments there, and we can do the front and back walk cycles as well. I'm not really focused on character design. You can see that's a very simple design. It's more about getting that animation correct. So let's go over to just the Piskel homepage here. Piskelapp.com. You can see there at the top. Using this because whilst it's not the most fully featured sprite program out there, it is free. You can access it just from your browser, and there is an offline version. So we're just going to hit the create sprite button here in a minute, and we want to set this up to the correct size first of all. So we're going to go to the little resize option here on the right. We set width to 16 pixels and height to 24. That'll give us that classic Final Fantasy kind of size. We also want to make sure that the maintain aspect ratio is unchecked when we're changing these sizes. Just hit resize, and that will give us a canvas like this. We may also want to have this little grid here. So for that, we can go preferences, grid, enable grid, 2 for the thickness of the line itself, and then the spacing we're going to set to, do we want 8? 8's probably fine. Let's leave it at 8. So to start with, let's click off here. We are going to make the head and then the body. So just with a black line and the circle tool, we're just going to create a rough little head here, using those guidelines just about underneath the top third here. And we'll add a little rectangle as well, just about here, just to about the next third. We can fill these just with any color at all. It really doesn't matter. As I say, we're not really focused on character design. It's more about getting that walk cycle. So we'll just fill these just so we have a little bit of something. And we are just going to duplicate this frame. Over here on the left, we have our animation frames. And this little page icon will duplicate that frame. So there we have it twice. Now, what we're going to do for this is we're going to take the rectangle selection, this little dotted marquee. We're going to grab everything here, and we're just going to hold Shift on our keyboard and then drag it down. Now, you'll see over here, this is our animation preview, and we'll see it's jittering quite fast here. Underneath is a little slider, how many frames per second we want this to display. So let's just put that down to about 4. And we see that it is now bobbing up and down. The key to a walk cycle is not just about moving the arms and the legs, it's also about getting this little bob up and down. Helps to really create that. And even without adding any more detail, this kind of already looks at this character is kind of walking along. You can imagine going side to side. To enhance that illusion, let's just give him some eyes. Let's just get a white color here. And let's just draw in 4 little dots here and 4 little dots here. Now we are making this guy paint over to the right. Making him face over to the right. We need to just draw that in on the other frame as well. Try and have some consistency on the distance between the eyes and how far it is down from the head. So there we can see he's walking kind of over to the right. We can see both eyes, and he has his body bobbing up and down. Next thing we'll add is the feet. Now, with a walk cycle, it's called a 4-frame walk cycle, but really there's only 3 frames. We have 2 frames where the legs are together and he's at his tallest, which is actually the same frame repeated. And we have 2 frames where the legs are apart, so one with the left foot in front, one with the right foot in front. Let's start with this mid frame. Let's just get a rectangle tool here and just 1 pixel in. I'll just change my color to black. Just 1 pixel in from the left here. I'm just going to draw this and make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make it 6 frames. 6 pixels wide. And we'll just fill that in just again with a random color. Let's give him some nice purple shoes. And we'll get a rectangle tool again, and the next foot here, whoops, change over to black again. The next foot, we will make it just in behind, much smaller, and we will fill this one just with a darker purple, just so we know it's the rear foot. Now we want to duplicate that frame again and just bring it down below. And this frame, this can be our left leg back. So let's go and draw those two little rectangles again, go black. So for this first frame, we've got just 1 pixel in front of the very rear. Let's take this one just 1 pixel behind the very rear of that torso and make sure that foot stays consistent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did make it 6, didn't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we did. And then here we'll just have it 1 in front as well. Maybe not. Do you want to go quite as far? No, we'll not. We'll just do it to here in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we are. And we will color this with the same 2 colors. Now the good thing is, anytime we use a color, it will be saved down here in the palette. So we can see already, just from that, we've got a little bit of foot movement. It looks like he's sliding his feet. And we're going to take this frame and we will duplicate it. This is the one where his head is down just 1 pixel, and we'll bring it to the end. And we're going to swap those feet colors around. So now we have this effect where it looks like the feet are sliding past each other. Now we might want to adjust this. Maybe that back foot is coming just a little bit too far back. Looking at that 3/4 angle, I think maybe it is. So on that 4th frame here, I'm just going to erase maybe these back 2 lines. And just draw that line back in. And it's only subtle, but that 1 pixel, it doesn't look like his back leg is coming back quite as far, and that's kind of what I want. I like that. I'm going to take my eraser tool. I'm just going to soften this torso a little bit. Just to get rid of a few of these pixels here. Just to narrow down that body, just ever so slightly. I'm also going to just change this from being a perfect circle face. Just get that 1 little pixel there in each frame, just to give that face just a little bit of direction, a little bit of a jawline there. Oh, and we need to erase these on the others as well. Just take away a pixel at each shoulder and take away these 2 down here. We can draw these back in afterwards. Just with black again, just fill in that little pixel. It just gives him a slightly more V-shaped torso, sort of slightly wider shoulders than waist. And now we're going to just draw on the legs. So if we just look at the little reference figure here, we'll look at frame 1. We will see that the legs actually sort of slope backwards a wee bit when we are standing still. I think I've also made this guy's feet a wee bit bigger, and we can also actually just round off these feet. Just let's take away that very front pixel of the front foot there. Just to round those off a little bit. So let's go frame 1. Now frame 1 and frame 3 are going to be exactly the same. So let's look at this again. Frame 1, he's standing with his legs together. Frame 2, that near foot goes back and his head drops. Frame 3, he's back up for the crossover. And frame 4, he's back down. And this time that front leg is in front. So frame 1 and frame 3 are always going to be the same thing. So what we can do is we can edit this and then just duplicate it over. So we are going to add the legs now. Let's just take our pen tool, and I'm going to choose just a dark sort of grey, give them a pair of jeans, and we'll just start here just at the right of this border. And we'll just make the jeans come straight down like that. And then, whoops, on the back, at the back they'll come straight down, and at the front they just kind of tilt forward very slightly. Let's just fill in those jeans now, just like that. What we can also do as well, if you really want, fill the jumper here with a darker green instead of black. Looks quite nice, but we're going to leave it like that. I'm actually going to change the rear trouser leg just a little bit darker as well, just so we can tell the front leg from the back leg. So giving it a wee bit of shade in there. What we will do at this point as well, just to save us any trouble when it comes to duplicating, we are going to add in our hand. So for the hand, I'm going to pick the colour of the face, and just here in a kind of neutral position, I'm going to draw a little 3x3 with the top right pixel missing. There we go. So I'm just going to, if frame 1 and frame 3 are meant to be the same, I'm just going to delete frame 3 for now, duplicate frame 1 again, and bring it back into that position 3. So with my left foot back, my hand wants to move forward. So when you look at yourself walking, as your right leg goes back, your right hand will come forward, and vice versa. As my left leg goes back, my left hand will come back. No, that's wrong. What? My left foot goes forward, my right hand goes forward. My right foot goes forward, which will be the light purple one here. My left hand will go forward. I've confused myself completely. Okay, so we're starting here. As this pink foot goes back, let's move that hand forward. Let's just move it. How many pixels? So it's just starting here at the edge. Let's move it 2 pixels forward. That's all we need to do. And then frame 3, it's back where it is. Frame 4, let's move it 2 pixels back. And we can see here in a little preview, the hand now looks like it's kind of moving in an arc. The last wee thing we might want to do in this 3/4 view is, whilst the hand is back here, so right hand back, right leg forward, but the left hand will also come forward. So we'll just draw in a couple of pixels here like that, and it kind of looks like that hand is sort of appearing as he waves his hand, or as he waves his arms, that rear hand comes into view. So we just need to draw in these legs now. We will pick that darker colour of the jeans, and trying to make sure it starts at the same place. So just 1 pixel in front of the this little grid line, and then here we are 3 pixels in front. Maybe just make that a straight line there, or maybe just bring it 1 pixel in front, do rightly. That looks pretty good. We just establish these lines first of all. Draw them in like that. Get my jeans colours again, so the near legs, that lighter blue, and the far leg will be, we have this darker blue here. And what I might do is I might just leave a little 1 pixel gap just between the legs. He's just got a little bit too much leg there looking at the preview, so I might even just erase that little pixel there, just to make those legs look like they're really moving. Yeah, okay, I'm happy enough with that. I'll just actually change that to no, I'll leave it for now. Actually, I'll just leave it as is. Just look at the preview here. Let's get another better look at it. We've got a frame missing, but as I look at this, it's just not quite right. Something not quite right about it. We'll come back and look at that later on. Let's just add in these final legs here. Again, go to our dark jeans color. Where are we starting? Just sort of from the back here. Maybe bring that forward just 1 pixel and just straight down like that. That should work for that front leg. Picking the same colors as before. And without maybe putting that background in there, just use the darker colors for the legs. That's not too bad. What I may do is just make a few wee tweaks. Say put you in there and erase this one. And again, just looking at the preview, always just checking to see how that animation is looking. We will just use those, put the outline on, just use that darker color again just to have the outline there. So we don't really have much of that dark color left, but it will shine through. We only really need 1 or 2 pixels. With pixel art, 1 or 2 pixels can carry a lot of weight. What else can we do? I'm kind of happy with the animation now. We don't have really arms for him, we just have hands, but I'm happy enough with that, this little type of character. Let's just do a bit of tidy up here. Let's take the skin color. Let's get a slightly darker color, just for a lot of what's happening here. And we'll just pencil this in just to fill in that head. And I don't like these hard corners, so oftentimes what we'll either do is we will erase these, make the head more round, or of course we can draw in some hair. Let's just leave this guy bald for now. We're done with the animation really at this point. I'm kind of happy enough. It's just a wee bit of tidy up here now. I'm going to get rid of that 1 little pixel in there as well. So just eliminate those 3 wee pixels from each one, and then start filling in some of these colors, make sure it's consistent. It's a bit tedious to do this on every frame. We could have maybe done this at the start and duplicate it. Whoops. Duplicate it once we had it right. Would probably have been smarter. But we're here now. We're nearly done. It's just a tidy up now. As I say, we can take this black here. Let's go for a darker green. So instead of black, let's go for a darker green. And I'll just soften the look of the character a little bit. Taking each frame at a time. There's one here where I am missing a frame. This one. Let's just draw in a pixel. I made a little mistake there. So it's always very important to be looking at your animation constantly just to see what's going on there. So we've got the arm movement in nicely, we've got the head bob going nicely, the legs are moving nicely. We can see there that light pink foot is moving back and forth. So there we have it, a 4-frame animation, and we've actually only had to draw 3 different frames. So 3 pictures, 3 sprites to make a 4-frame animation. So if you're happy enough with that, we can leave it there. I'm going to spend a minute or two now just tidying this guy up, just adding a little bit more detail to him. I said I didn't want to make this a character design specific tutorial, but while we're here, let's just have a little play. Let's add a little detail to these eyes. So 4 pixels for the eyes seems to give us a good level of detail. And we can set the front 2 pixels to black, and then maybe come in with a what kind of color eye we'll go for. Just go for a good old classic blue eye, maybe sort of dark blue. Even if these whites are too white, what can often work well is just take a slight grey tone and just the sort of top pixel, just grey those down a little bit and make them a bit less overpoweringly white. What we could do as well, if we take the sort of dark skin colour here, we could do sort of the under half of the hands the same way, just to give a little bit more definition to those. Just taking it frame by frame. My colour choice here may be a bit too dark. Once they're there, we can always go back and adjust them, and then just take our paint tool. That's maybe a little bit softer. Works a bit better. And of course, every change that we make, we need to make it on every frame. So a little bit tedious here. What you can do alternatively is just have one pre-made head that you're happy with, and then just copy it and paste it in when you have your position. So as we started with the little just plain circle, if we have a head already made, we can just paste it into each frame where we need it. We can add a little bit of shade to the jumper, maybe the last thing we'll do. And again, we'll maybe just change the color of that. It's maybe just a bit too overpoweringly green, bit too saturated. It might not be very pleasant on screen, so just tone that down a wee bit, and then go slightly darker again, and we just paint in some shades there. And that will also help to reinforce this idea that it is that 3/4 view, where the shaded part is kind of the side of the body. So yeah, happy enough with that. Now if we want to export this, we can first of all save our Piskel file, so we can give it a name. So walk demo, and then save it as a .piskel file. This is the file that Piskel itself uses, so if we wanted to save this and work on it later on, save it as a Piskel file. And then if we want to export it as a sprite sheet that we can actually use in our game engines, we can export as a PNG sheet. Now what we'll do is leave the scale multiplier just at 1, so we're going to leave each frame coming out at one single or at just 16 by 24. We can then set our output type. If you just want a little GIF, maybe that you would put in your portfolio or something online, or your show reel, we can have it come out of that as a little standalone animation. But for game engines, we will want to save this as a PNG file. We'll have sprite sheet layout options. We can either lay this out one single vertical slice or a 2x2 grid. And what we'd probably also do is we'd have other animations here as well, idle, jump, death, etc. So we can have all of those in one sprite sheet, just lay this out in columns and rows. At that point, we just need to hit the download button here, and it will ask us where we want to save. Let me see. Let's just save here. And then we can view that Piskel later on. We'll see that sprite sheet, it's ready to go. Okay, we'll leave that there for the little walk cycle. Let's get one last little preview of them. Again, not much really too detailed on the character himself, but that's a very nice little walk cycle. The main things to get right are the feet, the hands, and the bounce of the body. With that, you can kind of go a bit crazy with the character design, however you want it. As long as the feet, the hands, and the torso move, it'll read as a walk cycle. So we can add big crazy shoulder armor, big hair, crazy shoes, whatever you want, and it will work quite well. So thanks for watching that. Hopefully that's been useful to you. And we might do some other videos on actual character design so that we have a character that doesn't look like a potato. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you for the next video.